Look, we're live
Again.
again. Can you see the chat? It'll show up.
Okay. I'm trusting
They'll
you.
people will appear. I'm going to sit back and relax for a minute after all that racing around we did.
And as I just told Carrie Ann, fiber is literally next door.
But not to your house?
Nope.
That's frustrating.
Been watching the markers come for the past 3 years because my brother told me that fiber is orange. In case anybody wants to know, fiber is orange in the street. So, okay. So Papa Cat,
Cat's here.
I can see it. Yeah, so the USA markers. I actually used to watch those for MCI back in the day. The colors, different spray paint's a different color means something. So if you're going to lay a line, and fiber is orange and fiber is next door.
You should have Big Pipe coming to your house.
Soon.
We
should have had it. We should have had it pre-built. This place is only how old? 9 years old. It should have been.
It's San Francisco. You should have had it.
No, it's the Bay Area. We should have had it, considering the people next door are brand new too, and they don't have it either.
Wow.
I know. I don't know what the heck my city was thinking, but it is Alameda. So it's a redheaded stepchild to Oakland. Oakland's a redheaded stepchild to San Francisco. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So besides the fact that Papa Cat's been waiting for fiber now for at least 10 years, because it's been scooting up the hills in South City, and they were literally installing it when we moved. I think it's just torturous.
I think we've got fiber where we are. I'm not certain of it, but I think we do.
I bet you do.
Hubby insists. We've got teenagers in the house. We have to have, between that and his work, we need to have a big fat pipe coming.
Oh yeah, like I said, the things that are running in this house all the time, and it's
24/7. Yes.
And considering the brother is an engineer, he's an engineer. It's it frustrates my brother like crazy because he set up our network at the house and thought he was going to be old fancy, and he's like, ugh.
I have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Hand crank?
Hand crank. Dumb waiter. Dial telephone.
A TRS-80, yes.
Dial telephone. Oregon Trail game over the teletype. Do you remember that?
That's where I had my computer class in high school. I had a teletype.
Wow.
4.
Yeah, that's what you could do on a oh my goodness. You could play the Oregon Trail game over teletype. It was the coolest thing ever.
Oh
it
yeah.
Would type answers back at you on an actual piece of paper.
Yes.
As you went. And that was the height of technology.
Oh yeah, I had Jobs and Wozniak come in and give us a bunch of Lisas for our school, and of course those didn't work out. But we had the teletype.
Right. Yes, Apple computers, all of them, because they wanted the corner on education.
But they blew it with the Lisas because the Lisas didn't work.
Right.
Right. So yeah, no, we had both of them because of course, Oakland, urban. So we had literally both of them come and give us the Lisas. We all went to the computer classes went to the cafeteria, and Wozniak was sitting there in a corner just sort of smiling a lot as Jobs went and sold it to a bunch of 16 and 17-year-olds.
Yeah, Wozniak, I hear reportedly was not a bad guy.
No, no, he was a great guy. He was just an ultra nerd. I mean, Jobs was a marketing guy. He wasn't a programmer. So, oh no,
Right.
we all knew that. That's why I was bummed when him and Kathy Griffin broke up.
Oh.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
So the story I was trying to tell you before we were rudely interrupted by the technology not working to its intended promise.
Yeah, 50 years ago. Go ahead.
Was about Jack Smith, the prosecutor who was prosecuting the January 6th case against Trump.
Now, what I think I remember is that he is now on the law firm that's defending Trump. Oh, okay.
The law firm that's defending Jack Smith. Trump has removed any security clearances that any lawyers in that firm that work for the firm have. Which means now those lawyers don't have the ability to work for the clients for whom they needed those top secret clearances.
Weird go around, maybe. The dad worked for the agency. He actually called it an agency. Mom bound books for the FBI. So weirdly enough, my mother's security clearance was higher than my dad's.
Interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if they have some kind of, they should probably get a hold of a librarian, honestly. And
well, the reality is what Trump's trying to do is cow the law firm into not representing Jack Smith by reducing the money that the law firm can take in.
But these are lawyers. They're snotballs. So it may be.
Hopefully they will be petty enough that they won't care.
Yeah, maybe they're handling something that if they can't handle it anymore, it will cause trouble. So there's always that too, that there's something out there that they can't handle anymore. And
you mean like what might happen if we got rid of all the transgender service members?
Hmm?
They won't. That there will be things that are so important that they need them to work on it.
Sort of like the nuclear guys. Oh my God.
No, we couldn't possibly have parts of the government that are so important that they need to be worked on no matter what, even if they are a net loss. You know what? Even in a business, I know this. Even in a business, some departments run on a loss.
All companies run at a loss for the first 5 years usually.
Yeah, but some departments don't bring in revenue. No,
not at all. There are a lot of them, and it's not bureaucracy. These are the people who are the I used to call them coneheads, the super brains who are just doing what needs to be done to keep things running.
Bookkeeping is a cost center, not an income center. You don't get any income from the bookkeeping department, which is why people outsource their bookkeeping.
And they're not making a ton of money. That's the thing. A lot of government people don't make a ton of money. So they're going to have to rehire new people at a ton of money.
Oh, they won't be able to hire people. I mean, everybody in Washington right now is looking for a private sector job. The employment market is going to be destroyed. The employment numbers are going to shoot. The unemployment numbers are going to shoot up.
Well, yeah, that and these are career people, and for some reason, our generation seems to like to work forever. So there are going to be people who can get a retirement from this, and who haven't made a ton of money because they've been getting the cyclical up raises. You know, you get your raise once a year or 6 months, depending on who you are in the government. So they're going to do that, and they're going to realize that they don't make a lot of money because probably their partner does. So, I mean, my dad being in an agency, he was lent out, so he was getting weirdly enough, cross paid. So he's got a few pensions, a few.
That's nice.
Whoops, huh?
That's nice.
It's weird. When he told me finally, I was like, because I was worried about him being retired. And then he just barked it out one day, and I was like, what?
At least he's taken care of, unlike Minnie, right? An LGBTQ service member who was then homeless for 15 years.
15 years. That's the thing that just fascinates me. It's like, and that's the thing, because San Francisco is one of the biggest infusions of homeless people because they were shipping them to us. And a lot of them are vets. And I've always been one of those people, bleeding heart liberal, but said, you know what? We owe our vets everything we can. So considering that the government probably made them crazy, because my cousin went to Kosovo and never came back the same. He was a Marine. He was a sweetheart. And when he came back, he got a little into the, was it DA, DV? And it would have never, and he said Kosovo. Because I asked him, I confronted him and go, what the hell is going on with you? And he just said, Kosovo, I can't talk about it. And I was like, holy crap.
Well, we've come a long way from, the way that post-traumatic stress was presented after World War I was as weakness.
No, it has. But they didn't offer him any medical when he discharged.
Right. I'm saying it's improved, but it's not where it needs to be, right? It's just not where it needs to be.
And they shut down two military hospitals here in the Bay Area, and there's only one now. That's in Fairfield or something like that, which is about 340 miles north of me. So there used to be one where ILM is in the Presidio, and there used to be one in some kind of weird bowl in Oakland called Oak Knoll. And those were two big bases. They shut the base down, but they also shut the hospitals down.
So where do people go now?
There's the VA in San Francisco, I've heard, because my dad, of course, has private insurance and he just pays for it. But there's the VA in San Francisco, which I've never been to, and people say it's hell on earth, and the one in Fairfield, I think. But I don't know if anybody's going to those anymore. So my dad, went to military hospitals when I was growing up. So It's bizarre. We had 5 bases here, and there's one left.
Well, we'll see how it all comes out.
This is why I think we should be in the streets.
I don't disagree.
It's like
the other news I was talking about today, not today, this week, was the EPA director urging reconsideration of the finding that greenhouse gases endanger public health.
Well, the balloon thinks that there's no global warming because, we were getting snow still. So that's why it was adjusted to climate change. Climate change is real. You can see
Climate
it.
change is more accurate.
Well, yeah, but you can you can see it here. We've got 7 microclimates here, and you can see how even me spending 20 years in South San Francisco, where the fog would roll down the hill, it didn't when we left. So
even if it is naturally occurring, even if I don't understand why we're not freaked out a little bit. And I can't talk about climate change. I'm surprised I brought up that, because I can't talk about it. It's the one thing, it wigs me out too much.
Oh, considering it's been accelerated to now, instead of next century, it's in the next 50 years. Yeah.
And I have 4 children.
I know. And I have the goddaughter with her 2 kids. Oh yeah. That's also what makes me not stop is them. Because it's like, even though I'm part of the childless cat lady crowd, it's like, but no, there are people that I have in my life that are going to need this planet after I'm gone.
Right.
Yeah,
all the
childless people wind up with a kid. They really do. They have a godchild. They all do.
So, absolutely.
I know. That's why I thought it was funny. It was like, you know what? Sometimes it's easier having a godchild, because that way that kid's going to get a lot more than anybody else's that's got, parents.
There's a reason why aunties and uncles and grandmas and grandpas and godparents exist.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and that whole child care where your grandparents or your mom or dad should do it. It's like, yeah, if they lived in the house with you still and you all shared your chores still and all of that stuff, then yeah, they could be the daycare, but that's complicated and we don't do that.
We don't. I think we should. I think it makes little to no economic sense to pay for 3 individual households when you could have one household. It's economic depravity disguised as having your own castle and independence.
And boy, do we have our own castle. So a 4-bedroom house with 2 people in it, that's ridiculous. Let's face it. And I grew up, my dad.
We could trade. I'll take your 4-bedroom house. You can have my 3-bedroom one. How's that?
But you downgraded, you said.
We did, but we didn't necessarily do that. We had been renting.
Oh.
And we had we miscalculated. The rental ended and the market was up. Luckily, we got in right before the interest rate adjustment.
Yeah, no, I'm the gold digger. So Papa Cat already had the condo when I found him. So
you're the gold digger. Now it all becomes clear.
Yes. He always says no, but I think his mom thought I was a gold digger. So, but it's been 23 years, so I guess I goofed.
You did something wrong there.
Yeah. So, and for us to get this place here, we cashed in 2 houses because my dad gave me a house I grew up in because they were already in a condo when my mom passed away, and Papa Cat paid off his condo in South City. And between the two of them, we could buy one
You
house.
upgraded. Yeah. And we had 4 kids and several, and my husband worked in startups for 15 years. Not on the successful side of things.
Oh,
on the side where you get laid off because the company goes out of business.
Be one of the startup people and even have your company bought and still they close it down.
Right.
The reason I didn't do YouTube for a long time is because that's what the husband did that was one of the startup companies. If they were one of the million of video companies that opened up. And who won? YouTube.
My husband worked for a Flickr competitor. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just lucky that Papa Cat hadn't had a girlfriend yet, and because he was a major nerd, and I came in and he'd been, saving his money, so just pure luck.
Says the girl who's been engaged 8 times.
6, no, 8. You're right, 8. Oh,
you said 8. I will quote you at 8.
I don't know how I got to 8. I've always said 6, but it could be 8.
It's like me counting how many times I've been pregnant. Is it 6? Is it 8? Is it 9? I'm not sure. They all start to run together.
It was something to do.
It's more than how many children I have, which doesn't mean, well, there's this thing. Just because you're pregnant doesn't mean you have a baby, even if you don't actively do anything to stop that. And sometimes there's this thing called a tubal pregnancy.
Or just a straight up miscarriage.
Yeah, but worse is a tubal pregnancy where you stand the chance of hemorrhaging and bleeding out because your tube bursts open like mine did.
And this is what women are going to go through because they don't have access to abortion.
Right. You know exactly where I'm going with that one.
Oh, yeah. Considering I was who would taunt the holy rollers that would line the streets in Fremont with signs in the 80s, I would go by with a convertible with a song called Butyric Acid, which the chorus is, if you don't want an abortion, don't get one.
It's a very, very simple concept.
Mm-hmm. Keep your nose out of it.
It's not, and yeah.
And it's men. Why are men the ones who, it's like,
oh, I don't think it's just men.
Well, not anymore.
I don't think, and it's not, men are idiots. I've never seen a man who's not pro-abortion when push comes to freaking shove and he's got the girl knocked up.
That's why the rich people used to send them to Canada. Oh,
Tell me about men being anti-abortion. Which man is anti-abortion? What do you think women are doing? Running around willy-nilly, aborting the babies that you've impregnated us with?
They think that we are, or were. I'm not there anymore. I'm now one of those decrepit old ladies.
Nobody gets knocked up planning to abort it. Nobody who's planning to get pregnant.
And any man who has money who doesn't want you to have babies will get you an abortion.
Unless he's an asshole.
No, I said with money. There aren't a lot of Elons around this world. I don't think.
I don't, the pronatalist, the natalist,
You've got a lot more experience with them than I do because I'm in California and then I'm in the East Bay or I'm in the Bay Area. So you want to talk about hypocrites? We probably have the biggest hypocrites on the planet around here. But also the protesters used to be shipped from other parts of the state and or country. So yeah, I have no clue. I've learned that. I have absolutely no freaking clue what the rest of the country is like because I live here. I grew up here. And I'm not moving out of here.
So not only do you not have any idea, you don't want to have any idea.
No, the first husband used to say, "Don't you want to travel?" And I'm like, "Why? Want to go hiking? Want to go skiing? You want to do this? You want to do that?" It's all within 5 hours. And he wanted to experience the other parts of the country. And I'm like, why?
I've experienced other parts of the country.
I have now because of Papa Cat having family back east.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, are those bugs big over there.
Yes.
But the first time I was in the South that wasn't New Orleans, it creeped me out. Because
the South is interesting.
Well, going to a mall and everybody that worked there, period, end of sentence, was white. That was weird.
Oh.
I felt so out of place. Because honestly, things were weird. I'd always find people that look like me. Just sort of go, okay, the world's okay, you know. And I was brought up, my father adopted by a Mexican family, born on a reservation. It's like, at least I have a birth certificate, because you said if my name wasn't the same, my father didn't have a birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, growing up with half a Mexican world did make me look for the brown people when things would get weird in civilization.
Mm-hmm.
And not having that in the South was really weird.
What was weird for me the first time I spent time in the South, which was Arizona. I heard words coming out of white people's mouths that I'd never heard before. And I knew that they weren't good. Like, I'd never heard these words, and I was like, what are you, like, that was disorienting.
I think the first time I went there was something weird said, and I managed not to just like open my mouth and stare.
Right.
Because especially growing up in the hood in Oakland, I'm used to those words, but I'm used to those words of the same race that say that.
Yes. These weren't, they were other more creative words.
Oh, God.
For Mexicans specifically.
Weirdly enough, you do hear those words said by the people that they're being made fun of, because they're usually saying someone said this.
And that's fine. I just hadn't heard those words describing anybody before. And it was only the white people using those words, which left me pretty sure that they weren't, you know.
You know, I came from the world of whitey, say it again.
Right. Well, I did too. I grew up in the hood.
Then, yeah.
But I had never heard white people say these words. Like, because I grew up in the hood, because I grew up in the environment and around the people I grew up around, I had literally never been exposed.
Yeah, no, Oakland in the 70s, I was exposed. But like I said, I didn't hear that from white people.
I'd never been exposed from white people. Exactly.
Yeah, and considering that my stepdad is white, he never said anything like that.
Right.
And
Right.
my stepdad's family's from where you are. When I went to go visit them as a very brown teenager, they never said anything like that in front of me.
Right. That's what I mean. I'd never heard those words from white people before. White, like, you think I agree with you? You're saying these words like these are not appropriate words. Why are you saying these words? I was waiting for the word police.
Or someone of the ethnic part going, "What did you say, Whitey?"
What did you say, Whitey? Exactly. Exactly.
Oh yeah, and that was the thing. We were walking through the mall. Everybody was white, and I was like, "I think people are looking at me." And Papa Cat's like, "No, they're not." And I'm like, "I think they are, but that's okay." We were actually getting outfits for his dad's funeral, so I could say it didn't bother me at all. I just thought it was really weird that people were staring at me.
Why were people staring at you?
Because I'm me, because I'm native and look Asian. So
right.
I
And
was
they're used to all white people.
mm-hmm. So
for a long time, I wore hijab on Fridays in support of my hijabi friends. There was I'd been doing it before this, but there was an attack on a couple of hijabi women on the train here, on the Max train.
I think I heard about that a long time
And they
ago.
were killed. Yeah. Not the women weren't killed. The people who stood up for them were killed. And I'm not cool with any country that requires you to wear hijab, just as much as I'm not cool with a country that tells you you can't wear hijab. I'm kind of in favor of women being able to wear whatever the hell they freaking want.
Or feel they need to for their religion.
Whatever they want, right? They get to choose. And in this country, I think that's important. Is it possible that there are women who are pressured into wearing hijab by their...
Oh yeah.
Of course it's possible. But is it possible that there are women who are pressured into wearing modest clothing? Is it possible that there are women who are pressured into certain hairstyles by their family?
I saw a group of them in down there in Tennessee. Where was it? Near Dollywood, the next city over. There was a group of women with the dresses and the hair, and I had to stop staring. I was amazed to see them in the wild. In the wild, I know that sounds horrible, but
right. No, they actually exist. So you're focusing on one specific religion of one particular ethnic group and saying that they don't get to choose
in America,
because it might be that their family members are pressuring them. That's not the way this works in America.
mm-hmm.
And so I would wear hijab once a week. And now I've forgotten where I was going with the story.
But you are a little radical. Oh my God, I respect you even more now. I thought I was the radical between us.
I just felt that it was important to make a statement that people get to wear whatever they want to wear. And as a white presenting woman, I have the power to do that. And what I was going to say is, when I went to small town Oregon, let's just say it was an experience.
I have an aunt
and leave it at that.
Yeah, I have an aunt in small town Oregon, and yes, they have a gun safe. So, or her and my uncle passed away, but yeah, they were very outdoor people.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't
and that's fine.
I was gonna say, but didn't have a prejudice.
Yeah, I'm not saying that everybody had a prejudice. It's just that they're not accustomed to someone wearing a headscarf showing up in their community.
And prejudice is actually prejudice
is actually fear of the unknown.
Yes. And that's the hardest thing to get people to understand. Is that prejudice is fear.
It is fear of the unknown, what you can't control, what you don't know. And so that's the other reason I chose to wear hijab once a week, is that by wearing it as a white woman, I can act as a bridge. I'm more accessible than somebody of a different color skin.
Right. You can go, oh, no. Yes.
Right.
Because unfortunately,
and I'm more willing to speak up to other white people. Well, I'm not necessarily more willing. There sometimes my privilege, what child?
Which child?
Child number 4 says I'm in a more privileged position to do so. I'm coming from a position of privilege.
You are. And like I said last week, 2 weeks ago on the other feed, I had finally made the realization that I'm not white. I sound like it. It was always a joke to show people. You talk to them on the phone and then you meet them, like if you worked at a company or something. They always gave me because I was darker when I was younger. Half of my family is so white they don't have chins, and that's my stepdad. My mom passed because it was Spanish and Portuguese, so I looked like the adopted daughter of Jim and Tammy Faye Baker, but was treated normally. So I have carried in my head, I guess, white privilege because it was the way I was brought up, and realized last week or the week before that I'm not. It took this administration for me to realize that I'm just as screwed as every other person with a slanted eye.
Yeah.
And my dad can't do anything about it. And I'm sure that drives him crazy because I am my dad's daughter, my stepdad. So I'm sure he does not like me he doesn't want me protesting. I know that. So he's worried about something happening to me. And I'm just like, nothing will happen to me. I'm not in San Francisco, it won't.
No, I mean, if anything's going to happen, it'll be the other shall not be named who creates that situation.
It'll probably be up here any minute. But yeah.
Don't talk about him being there, because you know he's not going to stay there. So you're not going to get any pity from me about him being there, because if he comes that far north, you know what he's doing, don't you?
Yeah, but you're not leaving your house. If he's up here, I'm not leaving my house, and I'm letting. I told them so they know he's coming.
I know you did told him. I heard you told him.
Yeah, sometimes you need to like pony up to the enemy and tell them what's going on so they can get rid of him on their own, because I won't be there. So in case anybody's wondering who sees this later, in the Scientology world, we have a former protester who's just a J6 agitator. So it's easiest way to describe him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, my dad definitely didn't want me protesting in Portland. He actually, last year when I was supposed to come up there, he lied and didn't tell me when he was leaving until I said I couldn't do it anymore. So he definitely doesn't want me protesting in Portland because he says it's bad there. The only thing I know of Portland being bad there is like the homeless and the whole thing. That's it.
Look, there's homeless people, but you're in San Francisco. It's not like you have a dearth of them.
Oh, yes.
There's homeless people. But we're like, the org is like 4 blocks from the Saturday market. Is it not the best area of downtown? Yeah, it's not the best area of downtown.
But it isn't Skid Row either.
No, there are definitely worse places. It's not far off Skid Row, but...
No, I mean LA's Skid Row.
There are places there are places in Seattle where I wouldn't go. And there are places in this city that I probably should avoid. But I don't worry about downtown during the freaking day.
That's the example. My dad doesn't want anything to happen to me, and now I sort of weirdly know why, because I'm not white.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he would know.
I mean, I know that I have a little bit of privilege when I'm out protesting because I'm sitting in that chair. It gives me...
Yeah, you've got
it gives me a little bit extra insulation. Because really, what is the old white lady in the wheelchair gonna do? Really? She got y'all scared? That old graying white lady in the wheelchair has got y'all all freaked out. Right.
You should be afraid of any protester because they've always put their world on the side and know that they can get cracked upside the head at any minute. So it's like, we know what we're doing, weirdly enough.
Right. Okay, so we should kill this.
Okay.
Since we've done our full 2 hours, even if 20 minutes of it was technical difficulties.
And we did pretty good. I think that you and I should do this once a week.
We can do it once a week. I can schedule one right when the stream's over.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Okay.
That was what was driving me crazy, is I knew we'd have a good conversation if we could just talk.
Yes, and you not being able to hear me gets in the way. So we'll need to... Do you think it was the technical fix or the fact that it switched over to me streaming?
I think it's you have to stream. I think there's something going on in this house that I don't know. I have to get my brother over here to see if he can figure it out.
Okay, guys, we will see you next week. We will put it up on the and so it's scheduled.
And I am trying to read Project 2025 every day for a half an hour. It just had to get back on this stream again because we all need to hear it for real.
Yeah. Okay.